A dog sits frozen beside a shredded pillow. Its ears flatten. Its tail disappears between its legs. It won't look its owner in the eyes. Millions of people see this and think the same thing. He knows he did something wrong. But what if that famous guilty look has almost nothing to do with guilt? For decades, scientists have been asking a surprisingly difficult question. Do animals actually experience complex emotions like guilt? Or are we seeing something else entirely? The answer doesn't just change the way we understand dogs. It changes the way we understand the minds of animals themselves. If you've ever lived with a dog, you've probably witnessed it. You come home to find a chewed-up shoe, a tipped-over trash can, or a couch cushion that's been completely destroyed. Before you even say a word, your dog lowers its head, its ears fold back, its eyes avoid yours. Sometimes it even slowly backs away. To us, the message seems obvious. I know I messed up. It's such a universal experience that the internet is filled with millions of guilty dog videos. Owners laugh, viewers are convinced, even people who have never owned a dog recognize the expression instantly. But there's a hidden assumption behind all of this. We're not just saying dogs know they've broken a rule. We're saying they feel guilt. And guilt isn't just another emotion. It's one of the most complex emotions humans experience. Fear is simple. Joy is simple. Surprise, anger, even affection. Many animals almost certainly experience emotions like these, but guilt is different. To feel genuine guilt, an individual must first understand that they violated a social rule, then recognize that another individual has been harmed or disappointed, and finally reflect on their own actions in relation to that rule. Psychologists call emotions like guilt, shame, embarrassment, and pride self-conscious emotions. These emotions require a surprisingly sophisticated sense of self. In other words, it's not enough to simply feel bad. You have to understand why you should feel bad. And that's exactly where the scientific debate begins, because unlike humans, dogs can't tell us what they're thinking. So how do researchers study an emotion they can't directly observe? They design experiments. And one of those experiments would completely change the conversation about guilty dogs. Imagine you're a scientist trying to answer a seemingly impossible question. Does a dog actually feel guilty, or does it simply react to its owner's behavior? You can't ask a dog what it's thinking, so instead you create a situation where guilt should appear if it's real.
One of the most influential studies on this question came from animal cognition researcher Alexandra Horowitz. Her experiment was surprisingly simple. A dog was placed in a room with a treat. The owner gave a clear command, "Don't eat it." Then, the owner left the room. Sometimes the dog obeyed, sometimes it didn't. But here's where the experiment became clever. In many trials, what the owner believed had happened wasn't actually true. Sometimes a dog had eaten the treat, but the owner was told it hadn't. Other times, the dog had obeyed perfectly, yet the owner was falsely told that the dog had eaten it. Now came the moment everyone was waiting for. The owner returned. Researchers watched every movement, every glance, every lowered ear, every tucked tail. If dogs truly felt guilt, there should have been one clear pattern. The guilty look should appear when the dog actually broke the rule, regardless of what the owner believed. Instead, something unexpected happened. The dogs didn't seem to react to what they had done. They reacted to what their owners believed. When owners scolded them, even innocent dogs suddenly displayed the classic guilty expression. Lowered heads, flattened ears, avoiding eye contact, slow, cautious movements. Yet dogs that had actually eaten the forbidden treat often showed none of these behaviors, as long as their owners greeted them warmly. The famous guilty face wasn't reliably predicting guilt. It was predicting something else entirely. And that raised an even bigger question. If dogs aren't expressing guilt, what exactly are they trying to communicate?
For a long time, people assumed the guilty look was a confession, but modern research suggests something very different. Your dog probably isn't saying, "I know I broke the rule." Instead, It's responding to you. Dogs are astonishingly good at reading human body language. Long before you raise your voice, they notice subtle changes in your posture, facial expression, and tone. When they detect signs of anger or disappointment, many display what's known as appeasement behaviors, signals meant to reduce conflict, lowering the head, avoiding eye contact, flattening the ears, moving slowly, sometimes rolling onto their back. These behaviors aren't unique to dogs. Wolves and many other social animals use similar signals to calm tense situations within their groups. They're less like an apology and more like saying, "I don't want trouble. I'm not a threat." That doesn't mean dogs don't have rich emotional lives. They clearly form deep social bonds and respond to our emotions in remarkable ways. But the evidence doesn't show that the famous guilty look is reliable proof of guilt. As for other animals, scientists continue to study complex social emotions in species like chimpanzees, elephants, dolphins, and wolves. Many display empathy, cooperation, grief, and reconciliation. Whether they experience guilt in the same way humans do remains an open question. The next time you catch your dog standing beside a shredded pillow, head lowered, eyes looking away, tail tucked tightly beneath its body, ask yourself one question. Is your dog thinking, "I know I did something wrong"? Or is it simply reading you better than you ever realized? Sometimes the most fascinating discoveries in animal psychology aren't about proving what animals think. They're about uncovering how easily we misunderstand them. The more we study animal minds, the more they challenge what we thought we knew about our own.